Buffalo just might be the most overlooked favorite in the entire playoffs, and Boston is exactly that kind of team that can make this a problem. I'm Mark Wallace, and I am joined tonight with Robbie Hockey from Weekday Wagers as we break down the NHL playoffs. Robbie, let's jump right into this here. We got Buffalo at home to start this series. They're 26-10-5, which is absolutely elite. You got Boston coming in as a dog here in this spot to win the series. And I don't know why that just did that, Robbie. Let me fix that. How's that? That's a lot better. You got Boston. Yeah, Boston to win this series here at plus 155. For me, I kind of look at this and it gets real simple. Can Buffalo control the pace in this one? Or does Boston slow this thing down and just turn this into a really ugly series? Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is a really intriguing matchup. You've got Buffalo, who, like the Buffalo Bills, are just clamoring for one of their teams to win. And if you're new to hockey and you're used to the Buffalo Bills, just you wait till this team plays on ice, because that crowd is going to be just as hype and just as electric. That's going to be the key factor in this series, I think, for me. Can Buffalo win at home and maintain that home ice? I love a lot of players in this. You mentioned, can Boston keep up? They can. They have the tools to keep up. Swayman, he's been a little bit shaky as of late, but he has been solid down the stretch. You look at David Pastrnak and you think goal scorer, but he's been more of an assist machine this season. I think he has 71 assists on the year. So if you're looking at like some goal scorer props, Morgan Geekie's back on that top line, and he has been dominant as of late, especially this last month. So I might would actually lean more on the Geekie side for goal scorers in this one.
Yeah, and you bring up Buffalo winning at home, right? And that's what they have done, and they have been able to win in regulation. Offensively, Tage Thompson has been just a huge piece of that puzzle for them. He's put up 81 points between his goals and assists. He's got a very high ceiling, and he literally can flip the game on a dime. You brought up Jeremy Swayman, and Rob, I got to be honest with you, this is the one that scares me. Swayman, 8-1-1 in his career versus Buffalo. He is a Buffalo killer, is what he is. He's got if I look at this real quick, he's got a 1.88 goal against average and a 92.5 save percentage against the Sabres. I think the key here really is, can Buffalo figure out how to break down Jeremy Swayman? Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. But you got to look at, that's 9 wins, and you got to look at the Buffalo teams he faced off against. Now, you also got to look at this Buffalo team early in the season, too. They are nowhere near as good as what they are right now. And the X factor on Buffalo is real simple. You mentioned him. It's Tage Thompson. His one-timer, you get on a power play, Buffalo's going to be giving it to Tage Thompson. He's going to be firing away. That right there is the elite goal scorer in this series I love the most. Tage Thompson all day, every day. And you look at his stats, too, even towards the end of the season. He's kind of cooled off, but really, what did he have to do? They were pretty much in their driver's seat. Other guys got a lot of playing time, but I think Tage Thompson can slay the Swayman.
So here's the interesting piece for me, and maybe let's kind of talk through this and figure this one out. So the model over at Just Stat Sports literally has Buffalo winning this series in 5 games. You have a very interesting prop on this series over at BetMGM. For the total series goals, you got Buffalo 19.5 is the line. The overs, it's juiced to the over at minus 120, the under at minus 110. Boston, the line is 16.5, juiced to the under at minus 125. If you had to pick between one of these two, do you think we see Buffalo figure out Boston's defense and Jeremy Swayman on one side, or do we see Boston really keeping this thing ugly and squeaking out some wins, pushing this to a 6-7 game series and getting over 17 goals?
That's really tough. And you got to think, if you're talking about 5 games, Buffalo has to score 4 goals in all 5 of those games to reach that 19.5. Can they do it? Absolutely. But the Swayman factor kind of makes me lean towards Boston, because they have elite goal scorers as well. We just mentioned Pastrnak, Geekie, Victor Arvidsson, who I've loved since his Nashville Predator days. He comes through in the clutch. I mean, it's going to be tough. That I would lean Boston on that. I think I would go Boston under 16.5, because UPL, great goalie, Leon, an even greater goalie. I mean, both of those goalies are great. So I don't know how much Boston's going to be scoring on Buffalo because of the goaltending factor that Buffalo has.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I think Buffalo wins the Stanley Cup this year. I think the cup comes to Western New York, and that's where it stays for the next year. I think that they have such a clear path to the finals that once they get past this, and we'll get into that more in our other videos, but I think once they get past this series, the pathway to the finals opens up for them a lot easier than it does for the remaining teams.
Wow. I mean, if you're going to shoot your shot, that is one hell of a shot to shoot, especially with the way that West looks. And you got to think, too, after Boston, you're either going to get Montreal or Tampa Bay. And we've seen Buffalo against Tampa Bay this year. They've absolutely owned them. That 8-7, I mean, one of the best regular season games. If you've never watched hockey, that would be the one I would point to and say that's the game you need to watch. That's a hell of a shot. Rasmus Dahlin, if you've watched this show, you know how much I love him. I will be on a lot of his props because, like I said, I think Buffalo's key is to take advantage of those power plays, and I think they will against Boston. So I'm right there with you in this one. I think Buffalo beats Boston in 5. I don't know. I was picking 6. 6 was my number for them to win. Yeah.
Okay. And I lean more with you than I do with the model here. I do think that they have to crack that Jeremy Swayman code, right? And I don't know that you're going to be able to do that in 5 games. I think that you can get to them in 6. I don't know that you can do it in 5. So I kind of lean towards the 6 here. I also lean towards Buffalo minus the 1.5 games at plus 115. I think that is tremendous value on a series where Buffalo really look. This is Buffalo's year. All BS aside, this is it. They have played their best hockey the last month and a half to put themselves in a position to be the number 1 seed. Right? I mean, they've earned this spot. It's time for them to show up.
100%. 100%. And you got Lindy Ruff, who I dogged that. Whenever they got Lindy Ruff, I thought, why are you bringing this guy in? He's like, 75 years old? But as soon as they got rid of the GM, it's like a switch flipped. And I didn't realize that switching a GM would make that much of a difference. But it really has. I mean, the same team that's winning right now is the same team that was losing to start the year. So it's like, what finally clicked? I think we were sending texts. It was like they were 0-3, and I was sending you pictures of all the fans leaving and talking about how terrible this team is. But
dude, when the season started, it is night and day compared to what it is right now. Everybody was upset. They were screaming, this team sucks and they're horrible. And now, dude, everybody's screaming for the cup. It's cup or bust. And I am telling you, the mindset from the players to the fan base has changed 100% in the opposite direction.
It's really reminiscent of when the Nashville Predators did it in 2017. They made it all the way to the cup. You're talking about another fan base that was clamoring for it. But once you get those players bought in and you get the fans rallying, I mean, Broadway was packed. I mean, you would thought the President of the United States was on Broadway when Nashville was in the series. And you have a similar situation right now in Buffalo. I think it's awesome. I really do. I love Tage Thompson. He's one of my favorite players, even going back to the Olympics. But yeah, I hope I'm with you. I'm wanting Buffalo to win and move on. I think the city of Buffalo is ready for a winner. And just imagine if the Sabres bring home the Stanley Cup, how much pressure that's going to be on the Bills to do the same thing.
Oh, you're not kidding, especially with their brand new stadium. But that's another story for another time.
Story.
For me, this literally does come down. It boils down to control. If Buffalo can dictate the pace early, they win this series very, very clean. If Boston can slow this thing down and turn it into a grind and just a knock 'em sock 'em type of hockey game, this becomes a grind. I lean still either way. I still think Buffalo grinds out a win, but I think Boston makes them earn every single game here. And listen, make sure that you are locked in with us on Weekday Wagers live Monday through Friday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where myself, DG, Daniel Greer, and Robbie Hockey are breaking down the board every single day. And if you want all the model projections on this series, on the games, and the edges and the plays that we're talking about, that's all over at justastatsports.com. Use code wagers with an S, 50. It's a brand new code, folks. I can't help it. I'm learning it just as you are. You're going to get 50% off your first month. We'll see you on the next one.